Okay, we still have a few people checking in, but we're going to go ahead and get started. Hey, Dave Olson, how you doing, buddy? Got the car door open this week. You go, man. That's it. Hey, we're fixing to show you how to have some great success, buddy. We're fixing to launch some things that's going to change everybody's world, and we're very excited about it. So let's go ahead and get started. We've got a lot of new people in this evening. Once again, the house is filling up, and I always love it when that does that. My name is Kerry Miller, and I am live from our IAW studios here in Northeast Texas. 78 one day, 78 below the next. Just the old saying here is, if you want to see what the weather's doing, just wait a minute. But it's great to see everyone. It's great to have you on our Wednesday night trainings. We've got a couple guys on with us this evening. Woodrow's on. He's going to be seeing your questions, and Sean's on. So they'll be able to watch your questions come across. If I don't catch them, it's going to be very interactive this evening. We want to make sure that we get your questions answered. We've got some things that we're going to show you this evening that I believe is going to blow your mind. And we were working on it last night together and just going through, and they introduced it to me last night so I could start working on some training and so forth with it. Absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. If you're not sitting down when I break this out, you better be, because you'll probably fall out of your chair. But it's going to be great. Before we get started, I just want to ask you to join our YouTube channel if you would. All of our trainings go up on our YouTube channels, and you'll be the first to know when it's uploaded and ready to go. I'll give you a prime example. I had someone email me the other day and ask me how to do something. And I was in the middle of studio time, and I stopped what I was doing. I made a quick 3-minute video, emailed it, uploaded it into YouTube and to our training section, and sent it right back off to them. And so I do that a lot. It's easy for me to do that, to do a quick training video. That way we have it, and we have it inside of our system. So make sure that you do that. Join our YouTube channel, and also like us on Facebook, facebook.com/InstantAppWizard. I want you to make sure that you go and do this poll. Go into your control panel, and right up here at the top it says click here to take our new 20-second survey. Now I can't do that because I've already taken the 20-second survey, and it won't allow you to do it twice. So once you do it, it's done. It's very quick. I greatly appreciate all of you who took the survey. We're able to take that information and do things for you, and that's what we want to be, this company. It's all about you, and all about what makes you successful, and all about what gets you to the place where you want to go. And the best way we can do that is through these surveys. And we're going to start doing this periodically, and you're able to go in there, and it's immediate. We're able to go in after the call last week. We were able to go in and start seeing immediately what people were thinking, what was on their mind. We had some really great stuff come across. So when I was growing up, I had a teacher that used to always tell me the only dumb question was the question not asked. And I always kept that in the back of my pocket. And so there's interactive buttons on there. There's also places where you can type in. So make sure you go in there and use that and take that survey if you've not done so. We're going to leave it up for 2 more weeks, and then we're going to change the survey. So make sure you go in, just go into your control panel, click here to take our 20-second survey. Now, one of the things that many of you have asked is, can you show us, or can you help us get new clients? What do we have to do to get new clients? Where do we need to go to get new clients? And I'm not sure how this is going to work, but I've actually got a poll that I put up. I've got 2 polls. And the first, I need to know a couple of things in order to help you. I'm fixing to put up a survey, a poll, and I'm going to launch it right now. Okay, and so the poll is in progress, and I'm going to leave this up for the next few minutes. It's been up for 6 seconds. So I want you to go in, and I want you to click on the buttons how many people did you talk to this week? Okay. Now, when I say how many people did you talk to this week, how many people did you reach out to this week, I'm talking about whether you gave them a QR code, whether you gave them sent them your app, whether you talked to them about the app, however you did it, I want you to answer that survey. I'm going to leave it up for another minute and a half, minute and 15 seconds. I'm going to leave it up for 2 minutes. The poll is going very well, and I want to thank you for that. And as soon as this poll is over, we're going to take another poll, because the thing that's going to help me get where we need to go is these answers on this poll. I'm going to ask you this question. I need to know, how many apps did you sell? And I'm fixing to bring up that poll, and we're going to leave it up for a minute and 30 seconds. The poll has been launched. Rolling right along here. The poll's being answered. Another minute and 15 seconds. Another minute to go here, and we're going to close this poll. The reason these questions are important to me, in order to help train you and to share with you where we need to take you, is I have to know what you're doing out in the field. I'm going to close that poll, and I've got my numbers that I need, and I appreciate that very much. And I'm going to tell you why I need that information. And what I've got to find out and figure out is what kind of programs I need to put together to help you. I've been talking, Woodrow and I, now for the past about, I don't know, a week or so, a little better than a week, on what we need to do to really interject something here to really get you guys going. I'm an old Navy guy. Woodrow's an old Marine guy. You have to believe in what you're doing. And in order for me to help you believe and get you to the goals where you're going, I have to know what you're not doing. You see, what you're not doing is more important to me than what you are doing. And I want to show you several different ways, and we're going to put several different programs together to help you do that. One of the things that we're getting ready to do, and no, that's not me in that picture, that's Woodrow in that picture, and just kidding, that's not really him either. What we're putting together is a InstantAppWizard boot camp. We're going to have basic training, we're going to have advanced training, we're going to put together several different modules for several different advancements to take you to several different areas. We're going to teach you how to automate our systems. We're going to teach you how to go out and use video. Many of you are not a part of the webinar system that we have. And it's extremely important, because this is the question I get most time. Kerry, how do we do this if we don't want to go out and cold call every day? If you don't want to cold call, you need to get the webinar system. It's the best $59 a month you've ever spent, because now you don't have to cold call. All you have to do is go out and invite people to that webinar, and you're going to be able to automate your system, because now if they're interested, they're going to respond back to you directly through that webinar. I'm going to teach you how to go out and use Facebook to market. I'm going to teach you how to use LinkedIn to market. I'm going to teach you how to use Craigslist to market. I'm going to teach you how to use Twitter to market. I'm going to teach you how to use flyers and postcards to market. I want to teach you how you can go to the store, get you a nice shirt that looks like a delivery shirt, and I'm going to show you how you can go to your print shop and get some nice little envelopes made that say special delivery on it, and when you walk into a business, you don't have to sell them anything. Just say, I have a special delivery for David the manager. Would you give it to him? And inside that envelope is going to be some special tickets to invite them to your webinar. There is no pressure on you if you're not a salesperson, okay? If you're not a cold caller. There's no pressure on you at all. All you do is walk into about 20 doors a day, pass out those special delivery envelopes, and move on. I'm going to show you ways, if you don't want to go out and cold call, this will help you. But you're going to need to cold call a little bit too, okay? You're going to have to go out. But what warming up your market does for you is it teaches you to cold call. The biggest reason most people don't cold call is because they're kind of afraid, okay? They're a little bit of afraid. I watched a very interesting show on television. I caught the first 10 or 12 minutes of it. And what caught my attention was this. They took two individuals. One individual made $50,000 a year. The other individual made $500,000 a year. They took everything from them. They took them to a completely different country. They moved them there. They set them up. And in 1 year's time, the guy that was making $50,000 a year was still making $50,000 a year. The guy that was making $500,000 a year was making $500,000 a year. So they brought them both in and they set them down individually and they asked them this question, the same question. What was it that brought you to making the same amount of money here that you was making there? And they both said the same thing. This is all I know how to do. This is what I do. And the guy that was making $500,000 a year, they asked him, they said, let me ask you a question. The other guy made $50,000 a year. What's the difference between you and him? And this is what the amazing thing was. Neither one of them had a college education. They were both just high school educated. They both had the same backgrounds. They both had families. They both had a couple of kids. Everything about them was exactly the same. But this was the difference between the guy making $500,000 a year and the guy making $50,000 a year. The guy making $500,000 a year said straight out, I believe that I can make $500,000 a year. You see, if you don't believe it and you don't see it and you don't think it, you're never going to do it. It's never going to happen. If you get stuck in that rut, and we all know that a rut is just a grave with the sides kicked out, okay, if you get stuck in that rut and you never break outside of that, you're never going to get any further than you are today. And I know that's kind of a cold, hard fact, but it is the truth. You see, if you don't add a little something tomorrow to make yourself successful, if you don't do a little bit something different, then you're going to get the same results tomorrow that you got today. And if you're doing nothing today, the result tomorrow is going to be nothing. We had several on here that talked to quite a few people last week, and we had several on here that made quite a few sales. And I will bet you when I go in and look that the same people that talked to quite a few people was the same ones that made quite a few sales. So my question to you is this, and we're not going to, I just saw a question come up and it just stopped me there for a minute. We want you to be successful, and we want you to do the things that you have to do to be successful. And we're going to develop the programs to help you get where you're going, like our boot camp system. Okay? We want you to learn to build and sell apps like every professional out there. We've got an exceptional product, a great platform, and the opportunity for you to do things that nobody else can do. More importantly, the product that we have is a product that everybody is wanting. They just don't know how to get it. And until you go out and show them how to get it, it's not going to do you any good. I'm going to put together a program where you will be able to learn to email 15 to 20 emails a day, professionally done, sent to that customer that is exactly to that niche market. If it's someone that owns a florist, you're going to market to them as a florist. If it's somebody that owns a pool service, you're going to be able to market to them as a pool service. But in order to do that, once again, you're going to have to do something. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. I mean, we've all heard that saying, and it's no different in your business. So let's move on to something super hot. Any questions on what I just talked about? The boot camp stuff will be rolling out here within the next 10 days. We're finishing up some videos now, and I'm working on it just as quick as I can. Anybody have anything? Thank you, Roger. Roger says, this is good. Any questions at all? Any questions about the poll other than I didn't put 0 on there? Did the poll work out good for you guys? I'm not able to see that on this end. Did the poll work out okay? Is that a good way for me to ask questions and get answers? Great, great. Somebody keeps raising their hand, and I can't see who that is. If you would just type in the box. I've got so many things opened here, and I don't know if the other guys can see you raise your hand. So if you would just type in the box your question, we'll get to it. Great. Everybody says they like the question and answer. We're going to look at our control panel tonight, and we're going to look at something new, and we're going to look at something exciting. Okay? The first thing I want to tell you, and you're not going to be able to see this, but you're going to be able to know it's happening. We have new mobile web app preload speed optimization technology that will make your app operate 80% faster than any app out there. Now, let me just give you kind of a quick synopsis, okay, of how this works. When you use cascading style sheets, okay, in a web page, every page has CSS at the top, okay? And all those pages, it takes a lot of data and it takes a lot of work for that to load. Our programmer, who is an absolute genius, all right, probably the best in the world, has figured out how to do it on one page and allow everything else to load in the background. So now when you go to your app and the front page is loaded, everything else in the background is loaded. So when you click on that app, on that button on that app, it's going to come up immediately because it's all loading in the background. Absolutely amazing technology. Mark has done just an absolute phenomenal, everything I'm going to show you tonight, he's done an absolute phenomenal job on. So, like I said, you can't see that, but it is absolutely phenomenal what this young man's been able to do. And I say young man because he's younger than me, and I'm 21. So, now let me ask you a question. How would you feel if you had the opportunity to have an app that looked like that, where you can absolutely customize everything? I mean, just make it absolutely phenomenal. How would you like it if your iPad app had its own special programming and looked like the iPad on the left? Absolutely phenomenal. There again, you can see, customized to a T. Everything matches. Absolutely phenomenal. How would you like it to be able to make it look like something like this? This is an actual app that was built for Rollerblade. Okay? Cool looking background. Buttons match up. This is an iPad app. Customized to match the colors of the company. Absolutely phenomenal. Check out this iPad app. This is the Rollerblade app that's on the iPad. You can see how it sets up your buttons and sets up everything for you. How would you like to be able to do that? You're going to be able to. Not only that, how would you like to be able to use your simple browser as an emulator? I see that loading over. I'll give it just a minute. As your emulator, to be able to see exactly what you're building as you build it. You can size it the way you want to size it. Get it out there about iPad size so you can see what it looks like. Right straight from your browser and be able to see exactly what your app's going to look like. I'm going to move my page over and I'm fixing to show you how you can do this. Now before I show you this hasn't been turned on yet. May says this is awesome. This hasn't been turned on yet, okay? Before I turn it on, I need to know one thing. Is this what you guys are looking to be able to do? Is this something you want to be able to do? Because if it's not, I'm not going to spend any more money to do it. But if this is what you want, then we'll do it. Everybody's saying absolutely. And that's what I wanted to hear. And I can see the people jumping up and down. And I'm telling you, this is the coolest thing you will ever see. I sat up literally till 2 o'clock this morning playing with this thing. Okay, the first thing I want you to do, now this is where you need to take notes, okay? Because this is what you need to understand. This is advanced, all right? This is something you want to test and play with before you actually do it. Now, I told you it wasn't turned on yet. Tonight, between midnight and 3 o'clock in the morning, our servers will have to come completely down. Now, they could be down for 15 minutes, 30 minutes. We're thinking no more than 30 to 45 minutes. More than likely 15 minutes. So that we can move this technology into the server so it's connected to everyone's apps and everyone's control panel. So tonight, between midnight and 3 o'clock, if you're up working on your apps and the server goes down, don't send out 50,000 emails and start calling support telling them it's down, because I'm going ahead and let you know it's coming down in order to be able to do this. The first thing you want to do, okay, is you want to come in and create a new app. Now, this is going to be your toy app, okay? This is going to be your play app, so you don't have to go in and fill out a bunch of stuff. Just fill out enough. I'm going to say color test 3. I'm not going to put any logos or anything in this app. This is simply for me to play with, okay? Now, you notice there, I'm going to go ahead and let you know, I've done this. This will be my 3rd time right here. So color test 1, color test 2, and color test 3, you're not going to be able to use. So maybe put Duke's color test or something like that, okay? Because if everybody goes in there and puts color test 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you may be all night trying to set up your app for color tests. Now let's go down here, and we're going to add this, okay? Now to go ahead and protect the innocent, I'm going to come in here and edit web app. Now I'm going to have to do something here, so you'll have to excuse me just a moment. You can see my little app came up. I just paused your screen so I can do some things in the background here. Now, before I go any further, if you do get a chance to thank Mark, I'm not sure if he's on here this evening, but if you have a chance to thank Mark, thank Woodrow, and thank Sean, who are the developers of this program and the programmers of this program. These are the smartest guys I've ever met in my entire life. Make sure you thank them. It's what they've done here is absolutely amazing. And we're going to go into general settings, okay? And we're going to go into color settings. Now remember, you cannot log in to your app, your control panel right now and do this, okay? When you go to this, there's going to be a quick video that I shot last night about 9 o'clock that you're going to be able to click on this and see how this works, okay? The first thing I want to tell you is you have these buttons over here on the left. Don't worry about them. Leave them alone. I'm going to show you one button that you're going to use. Now, when I say don't worry about them, leave it alone, let me recommend that you go in and play with them, okay? But we've made it so simple, a 2-year-old could do it. Now, let's say that I want to make my buttons red. I'm going to drag this red right onto my button, and it changes colors. Let's say I want to make my background blue. I come in and I change colors. Now, I want you to notice these boxes are opening over here on the left, okay? That's because that's where the magic's happening inside this box. But you don't need to go to the box to do it. Now, you can go in there and play with it, and I recommend you do that. But just understand it's advanced. And I'm going to do some advanced training on it, but not tonight. I don't like that blue, so let me make it brown. Actually, I don't like that light brown, so let me try dark brown. Okay? And I want my link colors to be this color. So you can actually change, if you have links in here, you can actually change the links. All right? Let's see, I want my header here to be yellow. And I want my general tab down here to be, we'll make it red too. Now you can see your input box here. Okay, that's what your text will look like. All right. Now, Guy, you went so far over my head with that question, man, I don't have a clue. I can barely spell computer, let alone jQuery thermo roller. I don't know anything about that stuff, my friend. Okay. In order to, no, that's no problem, buddy. that came in here like the space shuttle, man. It went right over my head. Okay. Button normal is where you're going to change your text color. This is the only place you need to come in because of the button itself. You can't come in and drag the color over top of the button, okay? So go to button normal, and you're going to drop your text color right here where it says text color. Now, I'm going to stop right here. I want to make sure everybody sees that. I want to make sure everybody understands where I'm pointing at right here. Let me do this. Right here. Does everybody see that right there? If you would, please respond because I know this is going to be the first question that I get in an email. Go to button normal. Okay, everybody sees it. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me go back over here and change this back to the old normal. Very good. Now, in order to change the text, what I've got to do is I've got to drag my text color inside that box. Let me do another color so you can see it better. Let me change it to gray. And here you have your custom app. Now, in order to change, and I know everybody's going to ask this question because I showed you this in the deal there, okay? If I want my background to be one of these images like I showed you a while ago, they're right here under content body. That's the only two things you need to know. Put a little bit of puffy clouds up there. Carbon fiber. I think that's cool right there. Okay? Or none. Either way. Save it here. Now, what you want to do is you want to come up here. Well, this thing's jumping all over the place. And you want to save that. And now I want to go back to my preview section. And I'm in the preview section. And you can see what the app looks like. Now let's say I look at that and I say, ah, shoot, man, I don't want nothing to do with that. Come back over here, go to color settings, hit restore colors, hit yes, and you just reset. And when you do that, okay, now if you restore the colors, you've got to save it in order to save it on back to where it was on the app. Hit save, go to preview, and it's right back to where it started. General settings, color settings, drag and drop. Now you can come up here if you want to change your color bar. All you have to do is go to lighten or darken, go to saturation view. Just can you see the colors changing up here? I can change these wherever I want them. All right. I'm going to do a video on how to custom pick your colors. Okay, and I'll do that tomorrow. I'll put that on my schedule. It's a 30-second, maybe 1-minute video. How to custom pick your colors from any image that you're using as a logo, and then you can come in here and you can make these colors what you want for your background. And I'm only going to do it for the background. Okay, I'm only going to do it for the background to show you how to custom pick your color to match your logo, so that it looks like, let me find this here real quick. You'll have to excuse me. I've got a bunch of screens open here in order to do this. Okay. Want to make sure you're able to see what I got here. See how they blended this logo in with the background? I'll show you how to select those colors and do that, because I know somebody's going to ask. So I'll kill two birds with one stone. Okay? Any questions on these apps at all? I died and went to heaven. This is brilliant and beautiful. Can't I tell you, Duke, I felt the same way, buddy. Man, when I saw this, I was like, wow. See how this background matched this? Woodrow, let me ask you a question. If we use a ping file with with no background color, will the system allow us to lay that in there over the back and see the color through that? I'm not sure how. Give this just a second. This screen is froze up for some reason. The view is not changing. There it goes. Any questions on what we've gone over so far at all? All right. It's like I said in my training video, there's absolutely zero reason why I or anybody else should ever receive another email that says, how can I change the color of my background? Absolutely zero reason for that. Okay, I'm fixing to freeze the screen one more time. I want to go into the control panel, the actual control panel. Give me 1 second here, if you would. I want you to remember that this will be down tonight in order to upload the new technology. So if you have anybody that's getting in there this evening, a little confusing, what are you confused on? Because I want to take the confusion out of it right now. The training video will be on that link that I showed you. There's like 6 or 7 in there right now. How many different custom backgrounds are available there? I think there's like 6 or 7 in there right now. Is there anything that I can do to take the confusion out of it? Because now's the time to ask. I've dedicated this whole training so we can have time to make sure that that happens, that I can show you. And for everybody that's wondering about the custom backgrounds, Woodrow just put out that they're working on more. Yes, sir, Steve. That's exactly right, buddy. You came on at the right time. One of the biggest questions I'm getting right now is on these webinars, but I get probably because I talk about them so much, but probably because I think that's one of the great ways that you could actually go out and promote your business to others in a non-intrusive, non-combative, I don't want to go out and sell, I don't want to go out and cold call way. So if you're interested in a custom webinar, What you need to do is you can go right here. I have people email me and say, hey, could you send me a demo of the webinar? If you will go into custom webinar, there's a demo right here. Okay. I'm gonna play off of this question right here. A few potential clients ask if they could use their own domain name to promote their web app. Actually, they can. And let me show you how to do that. Right here under website branding. The question was, is there a, hang on, let me roll back up. You guys go so fast, man. It's hard for me to keep up. Ask if they could use their own domain name to promote their web app. Yes, there is. If they've got a website, okay, then what you need to have them do is put this redirect. I'm sorry, wrong place. Hang on a second. Give me 1 second here. I need to go into an app real quick. I'm getting ahead of myself. Because I have people that, and the reason I want to show you this, I have people say, well, I wouldn't want to redirect my app. Why would I want to do that? For that very reason. Okay? Right here, sorry guys, I was on the wrong page. You want to go to website redirect, okay, which is under the extra section of the actual app. All you need to do is come in and there's a stint of code that's right here. You can, if you're working on their mobile, their website, you can put it in there. If you're not, send this to their webmaster. You can email the redirect code directly to their webmaster. All he's got to do is cut that out and place it in the header. It does absolutely nothing to their website. But what it does do is when someone goes to their URL, it automatically redirects their website to their mobile web app. Okay? Now, as far as putting it on their own server, no. It's not going to happen. But, and you don't want to do that anyway, because they're not going to get updates. You're not going to be able to do anything with it. It's going to sit there. It's going to be out of date, and you want to make sure that you give them the absolute best that we have. So let me just cover that one more time. And Chris said that's awesome. Go to Edit Web App. Go to Extras. Website, and this is for the specific web app. Website redirect. Okay. And cut and paste that, or have their person cut and paste that. Okay, let me get back to the webinars here real quick. You want to go into your control panel, and you go to Custom Webinar. You can click and watch the demo here. And let me just go through this real quick to show you how it works. This is the registration page, and you will have your registration page here, and it will be your branded information here, and you're going to tell them how to go into and register for your webinar. Now, they can register right now. Now, this is the great part. They will come in, and they will put their information in here, and you will be able to capture this information so that you can contact them. And I registered for the webinar. Now, it's not going to, when I register like this, it's not going to send me to a thank you page. It's going to, when I say I want to see it right now, it's going to take me right into the webinar. And I've only got 5,000 things on this, on my DSL right now that's working, so it's going to take it just a minute. But it's loading up the webinar. And you can see right here, See how it comes up, and it's, let me turn this down. It's going to have your information up there, your logo, all your branding, and there's going to be a call to action. As the video goes on, there will be a call to action button that pops up here. They'll be able to, let me freeze that because it's talking. It's talking while I'm talking. If they have a question while they're in here, they can literally come in and send you a question to your email while they're watching it. If you're what I do is all my email comes to my smartphone. So if somebody's watching a webinar and they send me a question, guess what I can do? I can immediately answer their question. Okay? It's a great, great tool. The next question I always get is, well, Kerry, how do I market that? There's a million ways to market it. Let me show you one that works very, very well. Let me find it here real quick. I'd mentioned this last week, and I had about 10 people email me and say, how did you make that? This is a flyer that you can make in Oven Poster that's inside the control panel. And this is Your Business Mobile Ready? Register today at isyourbusinessmobileready.com and pass those out. Okay? Yes, the webinar does work. I want you to think about this, and webinars, typically in the webinar industry, you'll have about 15 to 30% of the people that you invite to the webinar come to the webinar. So if you go out and pass out 10 flyers a day, typically you're going to have a couple of people out of that come to your webinar. The closing ratio of a webinar is anywhere from 15 to 30%. Your closing ratio is up to you. It depends on how good you do. Once you get their information, okay, you've got their name and you've got their email address, and we've got some follow-up emails that automatically go out, but then you'll receive that email address, and your follow-up and getting in contact with them is extremely important, okay? And that's where the closing ratio is going to vary. Not everybody's the same, okay? Everybody's a little bit different. But if you want to be able to go out and touch people without cold calling, webinars and video is the way to go, bar none. You can go out and invite 20 or 30 people a day. And one of the things I'm going to teach you to do is how to use those social media pages I talked about earlier, how to invite people to webinars right from your computer and never leave the house. Your conversion ratios are going to be a little bit different. The ability to pull them in is going to be a little bit different. But if you're sitting at your computer doing absolutely nothing else except playing, what's that bird game where you shoot the birds across the deal and it blows up everything? If you're doing that, in between birds, send out a few requests for registration, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay? Any questions on the webinar? I had someone get mad last week because I went over, so I don't want to go over too far tonight. They said it was too long. They didn't want to listen no more. Any questions at all? Absolutely not, George. Let me answer that question right away. There are programs out there that allow you to build game apps, but we're not going to build game apps. Any more questions? I want to go back to this question. I want to go up to this question right here. I want to read some of these off. It says, is it possible to get this going without business cards or any other print media in the beginning? I'm still waiting on my proofs to come in. I'm getting kind of restless. I can't wait to get started. This was Sean's answer. Sure, you can walk in with a sample on your phone and sell an app without waiting on anything. And that's exactly right. We have a young lady in California. She calls this a business card on steroids. Walk in with your phone and show them how it works right there. You don't have to have anything. Now, what one of our guys do, and I've talked about this, he printed a QR code off of his computer. He puts it in his pocket, walks in and introduces himself, scans the QR code, and shows them what their app would look like on the phone. That's his business card. His little one QR code that's laminated in his front pocket. Let me go back up here. Some of these questions, when they're asked, not everybody. How many different custom backgrounds are available? That was asked several times. We're working on many. Just a statement, you guys are awesome. Thank you. Can we have a custom background? Right now, what we're uploading is the stock backgrounds. So it was answered. This is jQuery, Thermo Roller, whatever. That's why those guys come on, because they're a lot smarter than I am. Okay, any other questions? And they're still rolling in here. I took to your advice on building a directory, but found when having to back to get to level 1 app. Okay, I took your advice on building a directory, but found when I loaded apps, the only problem I had was having to page back. No, what you want to do is you want to build a link. Let me go ahead and show you that real quick. Great question. Whatever page you want them to go back to. Let's say that I want them to go back. I want color test 3 to go back to this app right here, color test 2. Okay, so I'm going to go into edit web app. Are you with me, Chris? I want to make sure I'm doing this for you, buddy. This is how you can. Okay, great. Yes, sir. Go to custom content, because I want them to go from that specific app page back to my home page, which is color test 2. Go into custom content. Okay, link to page, title, home page, or home directory, or whatever you want to call it. Website URL, this is the onetap.mobi / color test 2. Put my icon on there. Let's put a little house or something on here. Little home. That's a little home page. Add now. Now let me go to preview. See my new home page button that I have there? And you can put, and what you want to do is you build your app out, always put a return button to whatever, if maybe they're in oil change section or the car section. Okay, now we can take it back and we can go right to there. So home page, I'm going to go to home page, and this is going to take, look there, it took me back to color test 2. Did that help you out, buddy? Thank you, sir. That's what I like, power. Now that's a great way to do it, and it works every time. And it keeps all your apps linked together, and it keeps you going back in. Any other questions? I do not mind demoing. I mean, we can get off subject a little bit, and this is interactive training. We're here to teach you guys so you can be successful. That's all that matters. Now, once you build the app's live, period. Even though it's a mock-up. Now, you're not going out there marketing it to everybody, but once you build the app is live. Okay? Absolutely live. Yes, sir. Steve, my man. Yep. And get your QR code. Does everybody know where to get the QR codes? My color test QR code is right here. QR code. right here, 800 by 800, 370 by 370, or 200 by 200. Just click on it, download it, and save it. Okay. If you need even deeper QR codes, if you want to do texting QR codes and other stuff, remember you can go to the Resource Center. Recommended products, QRstuff.com. What is the, that's not a good question to ask me. What is the advantage in submitting the app to the Google Android store? The advantage is they can go in there and download it and put it on their phone from the Google store. It's a great revenue stream to charge the customers, knowing that they're in the Google store. But you could also put it on the app the other way too, as there's one of the training videos showed how to add video as a custom content page. I did a video for somebody on that, but I can't remember who I did it. I don't know if I uploaded it or not. I'll have to check on that, Trina. It can be done. You have to size it correctly, but it can be done. Matter of fact, let me take a note on that. I'll do that video and send it out to everybody. How to put video in custom content. And I'll make sure everybody gets that. I'll do it in the next couple of days. It doesn't take long. I did that for somebody. I just have to find the video. Any other questions? You could link it to the, if you could find one online, you could link it to your custom content section. That'd be the best way to do that. I wouldn't put that code in there. You might lock up the entire app. What he's asking, is there a way to put a calculator for taxi cab, the fare calculator in there? There's a ton of those online that are mobile ready. All you have to do is link it. Yeah, link to a third party. That's the best thing. Let me while we're on that subject there, Woodrow and I were talking the other day. Somebody went in and tried to copy and paste a ton of information from a website from the when you go in and you come in here and you get source, go back to the source page and put it in the custom content, and it literally crashed their apps. So what's the going rate for creating a YouTube commercial for the customer site? Email me, Stephen at Carrie@InstantAppWizard.com, and I will talk to you about that. Just one more. I see a lot of resellers offering mobile websites. Just so I'm clear, aren't our apps the equivalent of a mobile website? Yes, with tons of more features. If I add you in Facebook, I'm not sure what you're asking, Kiro. If I add you in Facebook, don't you think is bad for reseller? Are you talking about me personally? Oh, okay. You can always add me to Facebook. Any other questions? Guys, this was a great this is what I like about these trainings like this. The interaction between you guys and us, with Woodrow and Sean on the other side answering these questions, and being able to go into the control panel and show you right on the spot, is absolutely phenomenal. There's one thing I know for a fact: you will not get this kind of training anywhere else. And so, yeah, video. I can tell you, custom video is about $1,000 a minute. So, 30-second video, $600. That's about right. Yeah, that's a good price point. Oh, for apps? Yeah. We've got guys selling apps for $300 a pop. What's the value to you? Let me just say something real quick about value. Value is perceived, okay? And value is set by you. If you go in and you're going to go in cheap, then that's the value you've given it. If you go in and sell a $49 app, then that's your value and that's what you gave it. And that's the perceived value by the customer. You can go in with that same app and offer it to them at $300. Now you may get 2 customers less out of 5, but you made $900 instead of $150. But it's the perceived value. It's the way you guys present these apps is the perceived value to that customer. You build value into something that they have to have, and then you take that away from them, they're going to pay you whatever you want for it. If you go in and show them how that's going to increase their business, change their lives, bring money into their business, and do the things that it's supposed to do, the value is whatever you want it to be. Yeah, reseller prices all different ways, higher setup and low monthly recurring, low setup with higher monthly recurring. It goes back to what I just said, Trina. It's how you present it. It's all in how you present it. But let me say this, and I'm going to close with this because it's 8 after. If you go into a town and you sell 2 of them for $49, and then you start selling them for $99, then you start selling them for $199, you're going to piss off a lot of people at the bottom end, and they're not going to be your customer no more because they're going to talk. Let me tell you what Frank just said. I have sold 4 apps for $1,195. Can't see cheapening the value. Why does Frank say that? Remember what I said in the very beginning? If you believe it, it happens. And his perceived value is $11.95. You bet, Steve Lewis. Thank you, buddy. Absolutely, Sean. Sean says I would stick with that price point, Frank. Absolutely. Frank will work half as hard as everybody else and make 10 times the money. Hey, thank you, Steve. Great, buddy. All right, guys. Everybody have a great night. I hope you really like the new products that were put in, the new technology that was placed in. I just want to remind you it will be shut down tonight between midnight and 3 o'clock in the morning. It's going to take anywhere from 15 to 45 minutes to get everything back up. Everything will be back in place tomorrow so you can play with it and have a good time with it. Make sure you create a test app and that you can use to play with. I want to thank these guys, man. I love these guys to death that I have the opportunity each and every day to work with developing this program, and because they do an awesome job, and what they've put in here now is a game changer. So I want to thank those guys, Mark and Woodrow and Sean, for what they do. I'm telling you, they're tireless at what they do to make this thing work. Any other questions? All right, well, it's been a pleasure once again. I want to thank you. Somebody said a while ago, you know, I finally opened the door, and I always close with this statement. The hardest door to open is the car door. So tomorrow when you wake up, make sure you open that car door. Everybody have a great evening. God bless, and it's great to see you.